Hey, welcome everyone onto the webinar tonight. So good to see everybody. And tonight's topic is a fun one, abundance and my money mindset. And maybe some of you are going, wait, I thought that I was doing a health plan. What's happening right now? Well, you are, because health in Optavia, we believe that health is more than just a healthy body. That's just one portion of our trilogy of optimal health: healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances. And so the healthy finance piece, because here's the thing, can you be healthy and have no money at all? I suppose you could. But I
I,
think when it's all three areas, you really are doing a lot
I
better.
know for years and years, we've kind of compared this to like a big wheel or a tricycle.
Yeah.
And to me, healthy finances is that front wheel.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one that you steer with. And if you look at statistics across our country and stuff, um, when we struggle with money, we struggle with so many different things.
Yeah.
Um,
We've seen this
there,
in our life, in
oh
fact.
yeah, absolutely. Um, Health costs. There is a cost to health, physical health and mental health. It either comes on the front end or the back end.
So true.
It costs more up front to eat healthier foods and to engage in quality self-care and things like
It
that
costs more upfront than what?
than unhealth.
Yeah,
Then,
just like getting the hot dogs and mac and
yeah,
cheese or
healthy foods,
yeah.
healthy proteins, good quality proteins, and good quality produce, and those kinds of things cost more up front. And so people typically will shop middle aisles, which is where all the junk food is, the cheap packaged stuff full of preservatives and stuff. Those things are really, really cheap. They can keep us alive, but then they are highly correlated with disease, metabolic syndrome, things like that. And then on
Diabetes.
diabetes, and on the tail end, we end up spending a lot of money in sick care.
Yeah, I would venture a guess that it would cost more on the back end of the
Oh,
sick care than it would on the front end for the healthcare.
way more.
So true. But yeah, I've seen how stress and depression quickly turns into health issues,
Yeah.
from financial issues because of unhealthy coping mechanisms, or how financial struggles affect the ability to even purchase healthy foods, or like you said, practice that self-care. So we're going to talk about healthy finances tonight and having an abundance mindset. And you might have heard an old story called the parable of the talents, and I'll paraphrase it for you. But a man goes away and asks his servants to take care of his wealth, his possessions while he's gone. And to one servant, the master gives 5 talents, and a talent is basically like a unit of measurement, often to weigh out silver or gold, basically. So the one he gives 5, to the second he gives 2, and to the third he gives 1. And the parable goes on to say that 2 of the servants, the one that was given 5 and the one that was given 2, they were good stewards of the master's money, investing it in such a way that when he came back, they handed back double what he had originally given them. And the third servant, however, wasn't so prudent. According to the story, the one who received the 1 talent went away and dug a hole in the ground and hid the money. So he didn't lose it. He still had it when the master came back. But the servants who were faithful, and they were praised and they were entrusted with more wealth. And he said, "Well done, good and faithful servant." The master said to the 2 servants. And the servant who was fearful and negligent, however, was reprimanded, and they called him wicked and lazy.
And slothful.
Yes. And his talent was taken and given to the one with 10 talents. And he was thrown out of the master's presence. So it's an interesting story and kind of tells us a little story about stewards, right?
Yeah, if you ever want to hear a lengthier version of this, just YouTube it, Jim Rohn and Parable of the Talents. And it is fantastic. I've listened to it hundreds of times. And one of the stories from Jim Rohn's life that I love, he said that when he was about 25 years old, he had a mentor that asked him what he what he wanted in his life. And he said, well, I want to become successful and in all areas of life, like these three pillars, right? Healthy body, mind, finances. And his mentor said, you know what, Jim, you ought to become a millionaire. And he's like, what? That's weird that you would say that. And he's like, and he said what his mentor said to him next was really profound. He said, it's not for the $1 million that you'll have. It's what you will become in the process of making that $1 million. And he said, and then when you have the $1 million, why don't you go give a lot of it away? And he's like, what? Why would I do that? And he said, then you will know what you have become.
Interesting.
And so this process of kind of creating what we sometimes refer to as like a millionaire mindset, and it doesn't have to do with a specific amount of money or anything like that.
It's abundance. That's the name of the webinar.
Yeah,
right?
it's abundance. It's engaging in the process to become the type of person that is capable of creating more.
Yeah, because wise stewards make more with what they're given, unwise stewards do not. And there's a lot of things that we could be stewards over. It's just a good example to use money. So, you know, a lot of people think on continuums, right? It's like left and right and Republican and Democrat and right and wrong and up and down, you know, and so this might make sense is like on one side is the spender. It's like, this was my little brother when he was like 4 or 5. Whenever he would make like any amount of money, he would immediately go to spend it. He would buy like however much candy or cars or Tonka truck or whatever that he could buy with that amount of money. And it was like, if he still had money left over, he would just like get some more. He'd be like, oh, I got 10 cents left. Oh, I throw in that Tootsie Roll. You know, it's like, you got to just spend all of it.
And then we all know people on the other end of the spectrum, the saver, the miser, the penny pincher.
Yep.
Right? You hate going anywhere with this person because they're never going to pick up the tab. They like, I mean, I happen to live in a state that years ago, I just read this study that a horrible reflection on the state, that they said that the average tip at that time was 4%.
At a restaurant?
At a restaurant.
Oh.
That is pitiful. That's like a kick in the teeth, right? So that's showing the person's like, oh, I'm not going to give up my money because if I give it away, then I'm going to have less.
Yeah. So a lot of times people will think these are the only 2 ways to be.
In fact, we often hear a phrase along the lines of moderation in all things, right? Moderation is in the middle of those.
Or they might think, well, sometimes I have to spend all my money, and then other times I have to save it so bad that I never spend a thing and I don't even have a couch. Right? That's the Dave Ramsey. It's like, sell your couch. You don't need a couch. Sleep on the floor. You don't need a bed.
I need a couch. I want a couch.
But there is another way. You might have not known this, but spoiler alert, it's the steward. We can be a good steward or a creator with our finances. And this is where we take radical responsibility with whatever's happening right now, all of this happening. That's debt. How much debt do I have? How much savings is in my bank? Have I done any investing? Do I budget? Am I giving money? Stewards invest in assets versus purchase liabilities.
Yeah. So Warren Buffett one time said that poor people buy stuff, gadgets and gizmos and like
Aplenty.
Yes. Right.
Who sits and lets it floor.
Yes. And then like the middle class, the middle of the financial spectrum, they buy liabilities, cars, houses. Houses can be treated as an asset or a liability.
True.
But they'll buy things with payments, boats and recreational vehicles. And not that those things are bad or anything. It's just, how do we use these things and how are we stewarding the resources that we have? And then the wealthy buy assets,
Things that create more money
things
for
that
them.
create more money, that
Yeah.
appreciate.
And have this like creator mindset with money. It's like, it's fun to create wealth. Like there's a little picture here of an artist, you know, with a paintbrush and a palette. You might think, well, what does that have to do with being a steward, financial steward? Think of it as a creator. Like an artist creates, they paint, they sculpt, they make crafts or whatever it is. And do you have that same mindset with money?
That idea, the artist, Elon Musk said this one idea will change your life. It's easier to make $10,000 than it is to save $10,000. That's being an artist. That's saying, hey, I've got some resources or very little resources, but I'm going to make more out of it rather than just try to look at this and like, oh man, it's going to take me 10 years or 30 years or whatever to save that amount of money.
So let's give an example. A lot of you on here are part of our health program or maybe looking into it. Let's give a health example on the same continuum. So a lot of times we get stuck here below this line, if you will, of either on one end, indulgence. Oh, I got to eat all the stuff. I might as well eat all the pizza. I got to eat all the cake. It's my birthday. It's a special occasion. It's Monday, you know, whatever. And then on the other side of the spectrum is, well, the diet starts on Monday, you know, not allowed to do anything. Oh, and just such, oh, you know, just like
compliance and defiance.
It's so true. And people think this is the only way to live. They go, I don't know how else to be. I just bounce back and forth between these two. Okay, you already know this, right? There is another way, and it's above the line. It's being that creator, that steward of your health. This is where you're creating a good relationship with food, where you invest in good nutrition. You're not just eating junk. You create strong muscles in your body. It's fun to create health and to love your body and treat it well. Okay, I love this. Cheryl put this in the chat. It's the difference between living in obligation and living in gratitude. I love that. There's so many different things that we can talk about in this realm with health, but I thought many of you, this might be just a good parallel while we're talking about money, that this can apply to your body as well. This can apply to many areas of your life. Is there anything else you want to add on this?
Oh, it's just funny. This morning I got a message, a direct message from a guy that I went to high school with. And I had posted in my story some of my workouts and stuff. And he just like gave me a thumbs up and he's like, hey, great work. He's like, and he's a personal trainer. And he said, isn't it crazy? We graduated from high school over 30 years ago. And he's like, isn't it crazy what we could have done 30 years ago if we knew what we know now about diet and exercise? And I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could turn back time, right? Because when we were 17, 18 years old, we were eating absolute garbage. We were eating pizza and burgers and just stuffing our faces. And if we would have treated our bodies then how we do now, we could have seen miraculous things. And I'm grateful that I've learned it later on though, because I've been able to dial back some years and be able to age far more slowly and be able to maintain a lot of the things that I absolutely love to do.
I love that. And, you know, when we're talking about money or finances, it's easy to confuse a person's worth with what they create in their life. And so I just want to like put something out there to you that may or may not resonate, but I would put out there that you are just 100% loved and worthy. You don't need to prove yourself by making money. You don't need to prove yourself by losing weight or being healthy or being a certain whatever, living in a certain house or having a certain car. You're just, as a human being, you are loved and you are worthy as a human. Full stop. It's just a different column. This middle column is just this gift that we have, which is life on planet Earth. And then there's another column to the right here that is the creation.
These are the things that you want, that you desire, that you have ambition towards. These things are not going to increase your worth.
Nope.
Again, like Amber just said, they're different columns.
Yeah. You can have fun creating whatever you want. You can go sculpt some clay. You can go make some money. You can go build a business. You can whatever. You can build muscle on your body or lower your body fat percentage, whatever you like, whatever sounds fun, whatever is a good project for you to create, but they're completely different columns. Stop smashing the columns.
And we kind of live in a world right now that is smashing the columns all the time.
Yes, it's your bank account shows money volume, not your value as a person. Or do you ever find yourself saying things like, oh, when I make more money, I'll be happy then. When I can finally pay off this debt, when I can finally invest, whatever it is. Did you know that you can actually choose to be happy right now? And it can actually be really fun to create whatever art project that you're wanting to focus on in your life. I love this quote by Adam Miller. Wanting to be loved is good. Wanting to create is good. Wanting to be loved because of your creation spoils both of them. It sucks the freedom from love and the joy out of creation. Love is a gift, never a reward. And when I found this quote, it's actually somebody said it in church one time. And I was like, I went up afterwards. I was like, "Ooh, tell me that quote again." Because it was exactly what I'd been teaching at our previous event. And it just was like perfect. So what if you could love your bank account exactly as it is right now? Whatever numbers are there, it's not good or bad. It's just numbers. It's the measure of value that I've brought to the marketplace, not a measure of me. Or maybe what can I learn from where I am right now? What the bank account says. And creating financial abundance or fun business or whatever, it's just fun. It's just an opportunity. Money is energy I use to create goodness in the world. I love that.
Yeah, and a lot of people, a lot of the things that they want to create, memories, right? When I ask people, memories is one of the biggest things that people say to me when I ask them what they want. Oh, I want to be able to create memories with my kids, with my family, with whatever, right? And I'm like, oh, what kind of memories? Oh, well, we want to be able to travel. We want to be able to put our kids in these activities, music, sports, whatever. Opportunities. This is one of the reasons where everything is getting smashed. The columns are getting smashed. Because all of these things require resources.
Yeah.
I don't know any of these things that are free anymore.
I guess you could go take a hike for free.
Yeah, you could go take a hike for free. But
anytime.
A lot of the places that people want to go and things that they want to experience, they take financial resources.
Yeah. Speaking of creating memories, here's some memories or walk down memory lane. When we first started coaching with Optavia, our kids were tiny. We've been coaching for almost 15 years and we were struggling financially. And I felt like we were stuck in this place where we're both like smart people. We're college graduates. We're hard workers, yet we were living paycheck to paycheck. And a lot of times, there was too much month at the end of the money. And we were like, what are we going to do? And I always just kind of felt like it was spinning my wheels. Did you feel like that as well?
All the time. Like, if you look at these pictures, you look at this picture of us with our little kids. It was on our faces. It was even on our two boys' faces. They didn't understand. They didn't know the financial strains that we had, but they felt it.
Yeah.
They knew that when I got home from work and Amber worked from home as a web developer, they knew that when we were done with work, we were tired. We didn't have any time. We didn't have any energy for them. We gave them time.
Yet, even though our finances were like terrible, like I remember my mom would like talk about, oh, you got to work on your money mindset or read this personal development book or go to the seminar. And I was like, Mom, that sounds so dumb. Like that is not it. That is not what's wrong with us. And she's like, okay, honey, she was super nice. And when we became part of Optavia and we got thrown into like a community of people who were pretty committed to their personal development, committed to helping your mindset grow. All of a sudden we had to decide if that really was it.
How many of you, you can throw in the chat if you want to, if you're brave enough, have ever been told by a mentor or a coach or a friend or a parent or anybody something that was it in your life and you were like, nah, that's not it?
We've definitely had that happen to us.
We've had that happen, and I promise you, it's it. It's one of the things.
Yeah, Jen said totally. It's so hard to see it in ourselves. Show I'm right here. So true. So when we did start working on our money mindset and we started making vision boards, we started reading personal development, going to seminars. Honestly, that was it for us. And we started seeing our finances improve. And it was just a full 180-degree shift for us in the last 15 years.
So, you know how people always talk about like social media algorithms? Facebook's got an algorithm, Instagram's got an algorithm, and like, oh, I have to post at this time of day, like if you're into that kind of stuff, and you're like, oh, I've got to do this so that I get more exposure and stuff. Well, guess what? Life has algorithms.
That's a good way to put it.
It's called reticular activating system. Your brain is wired in such a way that it is going to continue to find the algorithms. The algorithm is already running. It's going to continue to find things that support and give you evidence that, oh, this is where I am. This is where I'll always be. I'm stuck. I can't get out of the rut. Yeah,
I'm spinning my wheels.
Jen put it in the chat, confirmation bias, right?
Yeah.
So we have to become a programmer. We have to rewrite the algorithm for our life, and we have to write a new money story.
Yeah. So let's start with some limiting money beliefs. You guys ready? I don't know how many of you printed the handout that I put out there, but if not, don't worry. We'll get it to you later. I'll put it in the chat later, but I want you to listen to some of these limiting money beliefs. And if you have a notebook, like write down some of the answers yourself or just like mentally say them. Okay. So here's the first one. What is your number? Like the amount in your bank that you would need so you could relax. Like for some people, it'd be like, if I had $10,000 in my bank, and other people's like, whoa, I need like 250,000. You know what I mean? Like, what is your number? You could relax.
And just for statistical numbers, 50% of the people in our country have less than $1,000
in savings.
In savings.
Yeah. So
next statement, I'll have enough money when?
Fill in the blank, ... How about this one? What does it feel like in your body, heart, mind, and soul to experience lack? I don't know how many of you on here have experienced lack. But I know in my family, my mom grew up in a situation where she had a lot of lack, and they didn't have enough food. It was a large family, 9 children, and they would go to the back of grocery stores to see like what food they'd thrown out. A lot of people have experienced a lot of lack, and you may or may not have experienced that, but you probably have in some way.
Yeah. So next statement, I can't even imagine earning blank dollars per year.
Yeah. What can you not even imagine? Like put down a number that just, that would never happen in your mind, according to your brain's rules. Or how about this? I do not have enough talent, or I'm too fat, too thin, too short, too tall, too old, too young to make blank a year.
to uneducated or educated, whatever, fill in all of those things. I do not deserve to be prosperous or wealthy because fill in the blank. That word deserve. A lot of people use that word and word that Amber used earlier, worthy. Deserve and worthy. Like, who made the rules on who deserves what and who's worthy of what?
Well, right now, we're only just trying to see her.
Right.
We're not trying to bust them yet. Jared likes to skip ahead. Okay, so now on this next part, if you don't have the handout yet, I want you to just count how many of those apply to you. Okay, so keep counting them as I say them out loud. Okay, the first one, I'm not smart enough or educated enough to make that kind of money.
I have what I need to get by, and wanting more than I need is evil.
There's never enough money because it's a limited resource.
Wealthy people are materialistic and think they are better than others.
Money is the root of all evil. Keep counting. How many of these apply to like what goes through your brain?
Making more money is not a worthwhile goal.
I should or shouldn't make money because I'm a woman or a man.
Money is power, and power corrupts. Money corrupts people.
Wanting to make more money is selfish.
To be wealthy, I would have to sacrifice the important things in my life.
If I earn more than my spouse or friend or relative, it might put a strain on our relationship.
If I become wealthy, people will want me to help them.
Money changes people. If I become wealthy, it'll change me.
Money doesn't grow on trees.
How many of you heard that one growing up, right? Pretty sure my dad said that one once. Keep your money hidden. It's embarrassing to talk about money or success. That's bragging.
I don't need the extra stress of having lots of money.
I've never been good with money, or I'm bad with money.
It's not spiritual to make a lot of money. Being poor keeps me grateful and humble.
We do not need money. We have love. Love is more important than money.
Until you have to buy groceries.
Yeah.
Money is not that important. Money can't buy you happiness.
Money is for spending, not saving, or money is for saving, not spending. This is below the line, right?
I am broke.
I make money.
You can't have time and money.
Okay, so those of you who kept track, if you're brave, put your number in the chat. How many of those applied to you? How many check marks you would put next to like, that was something that has run through my head sometime in my life. Okay, three that you're conscious of, right? I know some of these you might not even be conscious of it, that that is something that may have run through your head in the past, or that may have been something programmed into you, the MFPT programming, right? Mother, father, teacher, preacher programming. And it's not all bad. Like we learn lots of great things from mother, father, teacher, preacher, and some limiting things too, right? It's just how it goes.
Yeah, it all goes back to like my favorite mother, father, teacher, preacher conditioning, right? Is the old story of the like meatloaf pan.
No, it was the ham.
Or the ham. Oh yeah, it was the ham.
Yeah,
That's right.
you know.
So this husband and wife, it's like they're having a Sunday dinner and she cuts off the end of the ham and he's like, why do you do that? And she's like, oh, it makes it taste better. He's like, what? Who taught you that? And he's like, oh, my mom always did it. And then goes to mom and she's like, oh yeah, it's like you cut off the ends and stuff and it like lets the juices flow, and like she carries on with the story. And then they're like, no, I don't believe that. Well, my mom always said. So they go to grandma and the grandma is like, well, I only had a pan that was this long, so I always cut off the ends of the ham. Right? So it wasn't right or wrong or anything like that. It was just something they did because out of necessity that has carried on for generations.
Yeah, sometimes it's a new story than even the grandma intended, right? Okay, so here's the thing, like Jared was saying earlier, excuse me, that, let me start this again. Your current money mindset is creating your financial reality when it comes down to it, your algorithms, right? their programming, because whatever's set in your mind, that will lead to your actions, which then will lead to your results in life. So what if we could create? Maybe you don't even believe that you can. I didn't when we first started. I was like, oh, it's just mumbo jumbo and, seems like a waste of time. Like, honestly, that's how I felt. But I was like, I might as well try it. What I'm doing is not working. And you can create a new money mindset. So you ready for some new thought patterns about money? So let's go. Okay, so there's a little meditation to start with, some centering thoughts, so you can get comfortable. Take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. We're going to read some centering thoughts and then some new money mindset ideas for you. Today, I behold all the abundance that surrounds me, and I invite unlimited abundance into my life.
I focus on what I want to attract into my life.
I embrace my potential to be, do, and have whatever I can dream.
Everything I desire is within me.
I use my conscious intention to manifest my dreams.
Today and every day, I give that which I want to receive.
Today, I make great choices because they are made with full awareness.
I expect, accept, and welcome abundance to flow easily to me.
As I let go of the need to control, the universe brings abundant good to me.
Today, I remember to love everything and everyone I come into contact with.
Today, I treat myself to moments of luxury. It's a match for how I value myself.
I am unlimited abundance and exquisite well-being.
I am unconditional love, complete harmony, and inner peace. Okay, so your new money mindset, I'm going to give you an assignment to do this after the webinar, but I'm going to give you a few ideas and it'll be on your handout as well. But your new money mindset, these could be things that you could use to write a new way of being a creator, being a steward of your finances. So here's a few. I'm a steward of what I'm given and utilize money wisely.
I demonstrate radical responsibility with debt, savings, investing, budgeting, and giving.
Abundance flows freely through me. I'm generous.
My finances reflect the changes I have made in my relationship with money.
Money is simply a magnifier of how I already behave.
I easily attract money, and wealth, success, and money flow through me.
Money is a great tool in my life and gives me choices. I welcome it.
Wherever I work, I am truly appreciated and generously compensated.
Life supplies all my needs with great abundance.
I focus on what I want to attract into my life.
I express gratitude for all the good in my life.
I pay my bills with joy and appreciation.
I like that one. I like paying bills. I now release all resistance to money and move into flow.
It's fun to earn money. It's like playing a game.
All is well with my money. My relationship with money is joyful, healthy, and exciting. Okay, so become aware of your thoughts. Hold them lightly. Observe thoughts and resist the judgment. Be playful and curious. So writing your new money story helps you live a new money life. Okay, so I want to bring on one of our friends and fellow health coaches, Jen Walker. Jen, I would love for you to share a little bit of your experience with being a steward of money in your life.
Thank you, Amber, for inviting me to share some of the lessons that I've learned through my financial journey. And I just wanted to getting into this abundant mindset. It's easy when things are going really well, but it's really more difficult when we're stretched with adversity. And it takes constant work and creating new beliefs, which we have ample amount of ideas on that now and along the way. And so money can be really fun. And I'm so grateful, for my upbringing that has maybe been different than other people. And, they say that money is a measuring stick for the impact we make by making a difference. And so impact and income go hand in hand. Despite being a hard worker, I faced financial struggles in the past too. My husband, when he was going through school, we would rely on food stamps. We would be cutting coupons and selling stuff and just anything that we could do to make things work for paying the bills. And I remember feeling defeated at the grocery store, and I was totally unsure of the exact amount and fearing of an overdraft. And so I tried a lot of ways to create extra income, but most of them were really short term and unsustainable. So they required a significant upfront cost, or, just didn't give me that clear path to lasting success. So early in our marriage, I tapped into my artistic skills. If you can see that picture of those stars, I had made those with stained glass. I had a business for 7 years. And I also invented a baby safety device and patented that. So like I loved learning about money and being able to have those things. And so I wanted to do multiple streams of income. And I thought that I was getting started on a good path. And so while these ventures were enjoyable, I realized they weren't really leading me to my ultimate goal of having money work for me and effectively and sustainably. So in October of this last year, I lost my dad, and he was so wise when it came to money. And he was passionate about teaching his children. I learned from a very young age about money and investing. And I recall him teaching these things to us of paying ourselves first, being able to pay tithing as well, and then investing early and understanding the rule of 72 and some other things too. So real estate was one of his great passions, and to dive into that investor realm. Around 5 years ago, I was listening to Dan Bell, who was a leader in our company, and he was talking about Robert Kiyosaki, the cash flow quadrant. You can see that on the left, and it's got the employee, the self-employed, the business owner, and the investor. And the thing I love about this image that Dan Bell was referencing is like employee and self-employed you're exchanging your time for money. And on the other side, the B and the I, you are exchanging having your money work for you and being able to have that investment where you're really able to build wealth. And so a lot of individuals typically fall into the employee or self-employed quadrant. If you want to share where you are in the quadrant in the chat, you're welcome to. But you're still trading time for money. So however, in the real power lies in the business owner and investor quadrants. And so during this session, the discussion that Dan Bell was having, he was connecting Optavia coaching business to the investor quadrant. And I particularly didn't ever think of it in that way. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I've always wanted to have a house and be able to rent it out and do all those things. And like, if I can invest my time and effort into people, there is a big opportunity there. And so being able to kind of shift that mindset there, being a coach has been the best investment I've ever made, like hands down. And I have been investing since I was really young. And so in saying that, the person I've become, taking that personal responsibility to be able to invest into ourselves in a lot of different ways with our talents, our strengths, our hard work, all of those things, making those investments. It's like not on the continuum of, below the line. We're worthy of all of those things, but it just creates way more fun and opportunity and ability to give back and be our best selves. So I just wanted to kind of, I'm so grateful for the background that I've had, but the economy the way it is today, I would encourage us to be more personally responsible for our goals. And so I wanted to, our financial goals, and I don't even know if you guys have really looked at them. I did a fun class with some friends, and I ended up teaching some different things of just some basics that maybe if you haven't dove into some of these, like that can be another way for you to create what you want for 2024. So like escaping the trap of debt. It was a record this year for what was spent on Black Friday. It was crazy. So delayed gratification for future goals, tracking your expenses, allocating funds for tithing, and then also for investments and saving your 10% first. And then diversifying your income streams. There's a lot of different things you can do to do that. If you are looking for something, coaching's amazing. And then also budgeting for your health and well-being, seeking professional financial guidance is a great way to go to, and continuously to educate yourself. Like, are you reading books? Like, what are you doing to create that money mindset that will serve you? Maybe listen to this webinar a couple more times with Jared and Amber. And then maybe involving your family as you work on these goals too, because if everybody's in different mindsets, it might not work. So being congruent in that. And so I just wanted to share those things and encourage you to take personal responsibility and make it fun for yourself for this next year.
So
Awesome.
good, so
Thanks,
good.
Jen.
One thing that I want to emphasize that Jen said right at the beginning was, you know, sometimes it's easy to be have like a good money mindset when things are going smoothly,
Yeah,
right?
that stood out to me as well.
And it's more challenging. I would not get frustrated by that, but just like with our health,
Mm-hmm.
this is true of any area of our life. Our habits, we like to think that we're better than we are when we're winning, and we like to think that we're worse than we are when we're losing.
Yeah.
Right? Just look at the results as data.
Yeah.
And say, oh, things are challenging right now. And these kinds of challenges that are facing me right now are proving to me how strong or not strong my habits really are.
Yeah. It's
Right?
the old adage, the person who loves to walk will always walk farther than the person who loves the destination. It's the same with your finances. It's the same with your health.
Yeah, we just came through the holiday season. Holidays are really difficult for a lot of people with their physical health.
Yeah.
All the neighbor gifts and fudge and cookies and cakes and all the family parties and social activities and stuff, tons and tons of stuff. I have a friend that just reached out to me, 31 pounds gained between Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, what'd you learn from it? Well, I don't know. I just started asking questions and I'm like, well, you thought that your habits were really solid before the holidays. What this taught you, or you can just look and see, well, they're not as solid as I thought they were.
Yeah. And you know what? Like what it says on the screen, maybe you need a group of people who care about you. Maybe you need a group of people who are creators or working on being creators in their healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances. Maybe you need a simpler plan to be healthy or a plan at all.
Yeah.
Right. So many people are like, I'm like, what's your eating plan? What's your health plan? They're like, what?
What?
A way to stay more motivated, a way to learn more. This is what Optavia is about. Some people think that we are a diet. They're like, oh yeah, that's how you lose weight. That's like such a small portion of what we do in this community. What we really do is, I mean, we focus on 6 macro habits. Yes, healthy weight management, that is one of them. But healthy eating and hydration, motion, sleep, a healthy mind, healthy surroundings. And a lot of times healthy surroundings are a big factor with healthy
Huge.
finances.
Huge factor.
So if you are looking into Optavia, schedule a health assessment with the coach who invited you. Have them ask you questions or share with them some of the things that maybe you just started thinking about on this webinar. And to Jen's point, consider exploring coaching. Consider moving to that business owner investor side of the quadrants. Because what you'll find there is, in addition to possibly increasing your financial health, is improved mindset, personal development, purpose in your life.
Well, it goes back to the first story that I told about Jim Rohn at the beginning. His mentor said, when you arrive there, and you don't even have to arrive there, he said, give it away. He wasn't just talking about the money. He was talking about give away what you're in the process of becoming. Give away this new mindset that you've created, the new actions, the new behaviors, the new thought processes.
Yeah. And you know, one thing I love about Optavia in this community is we always have something that is coming up next.
Yep.
And what is coming up next for you is our Step Up Your Heart Health. And this is our next webinar, Thursday, January 25th. So that's in 2 weeks from today. And so join us in the same Zoom room, and we're going to be launching our Active Steps Challenge, which is going to be raising awareness and donations for the American Heart Association, because February, my friends, is Heart Health Month. And so we'll be doing the Active Steps Challenge the entire month of February. So join us in 2 weeks for more information on that.
And get the word out
Yeah.
about this steps challenge that we're doing. We did our last Active Steps Challenge in September. And we just, in one of our Facebook groups, we just had a gentleman that just posted, since that challenge started in September, he surpassed 1 million steps.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool. Like, that kind of stuff changes people's lives, changes their mindsets. So get more people involved. Just ask them to be your steps buddy.
Yep. And if you live in Utah, we are doing a local kickoff event in Lehi, Utah on Saturday, January 27th. So we would love to see you at that as well. And we'll get the word out about other local events. But join our community, you guys, in whatever capacity makes sense for you. Yeah, we would love for you to become a client of Optavia or a coach helping others. But even if you plug in at the level of joining the Steps Challenge, being part of a community of people who want to be active together, then anything that you can do to move forward in your health is great. Anything you could do to move forward in your finances is great.
Yeah, reach out to the person that invited you and just have a conversation and see how we can support you in what you want to create next.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, you guys. It was so fun seeing all of your smiling faces. I'm putting it on gallery view so I can see your smiling faces again. And share this playback with somebody that you think might benefit from increasing their abundance and money mindset. And we would love to see you again on the next one. Have a good night, you guys.
Stay warm out there, people.
Bye.